Well, Grant, was that a similar story to Tuesday night in many ways? You played well up to a point, but key moments in the game, particularly in the opposition box, you couldn't quite take.
Yeah, well, listen, seeing the goal back, it's another mistake, really. It's happened just too many times this season, really. Really disappointed. I thought, the Tom Nichols chance probably would have got us back into the game. We don't take it, but we didn't create enough during the game. We didn't look like, we're going to cut them open with anything. But again, I'm saying the same story. If you don't play well, especially away from home, then you don't get beat. But we ended up, a mistake cost us, and really disappointed changing.
It's another one, isn't it? This afternoon, Millwall. You think back to Walsall as well. 3 games really where you probably deserve a point, but again, you're going home empty-handed. Yeah,
I mean, listen, against the bigger teams, Sheffield United, Bradford, Millwall, we get beat 1-0 with a chance. They get a chance, they score. They had a few more chances second half, and we had a couple of half chances, but we didn't look like we were going to create anything out of any special little bit of clever play or anything like that. We just didn't feel to do that, but disappointed. But we've got to move on very quickly.
Why are you struggling for that invention, do you think? Because you've got creative players on the pitch, haven't you? Madison's, your Taylor's to name but 2.
Yeah, we've got creative players on the pitch, but it's almost like at the minute they're playing more like individuals. They're not linking up as well as we should do. We do a lot of work on it in training, linking up, playing 1-2s, things like that. But it's just taking it onto the pitch is the problem at the minute. We got to keep working. We got to keep working and keep working. There's 10 games to go. I've said to you before, we just need to try and accumulate as many points as we can and see where it takes us.
Is there also a confidence issue there as well? I think it's 4 wins in 15 now in the league. Does that take its toll a bit?
Thanks for letting me that. No? It's not a good start. Listen, we've been disappointing from January onwards. There's no two ways about it. We've been disappointing, but we need to make sure we keep learning from it. We want to try and finish the season strong. That will never change. Yes, we're all disappointed in the result today, but we need to finish the season strong now. We need to make sure we pick the team that's going to produce and create. But looking back on it, I've had my most creative players on the pitch today: Taylor, Madison, Nichols, people like that. So I'm disappointed that we didn't create more than we did today. That's probably the main thing.
I've got to mention Boswick almost scored with a header late on when he fought to get there, despite the fact he broke his jaw a few weeks ago. I thought he showed a real level of commitment again today.
Yeah, he did. Listen, that's Bozzy. He does that every game. He gives you 110%. Someone could learn a lot from him, the way he plays a game, to be honest. But yeah, we're all frustrated, but we got to move on now.
The gap's 8 points. I suppose you've got to keep playing on and keep trying, haven't you? Trying to keep the season alive.
Of course. I mean, there's 10 games to go. One thing I do know about the playoffs is it's never set in stone. There's always someone who has a dip. Someone drops off it. At the minute, we're the ones having a dip, so we need to make sure we overcome it. Have a good week's training next week, and we need to win. We need to win our 5 remaining home games. That's the bottom line. If we can pick up a couple of wins from away from home, then brilliant. The task now for the players is to win the 5 remaining home games and see what we can get away from home.
For a manager, is it almost more painful because the margins are quite small? It's not to say you're being tonked week in, week out. It's almost there, but not quite. Does that make you scratch your head? Frustration?
Yeah, it does. Listen, my weekend's ruined now. Completely ruined. My wife, when I go home and I've lost, she knows just to stay away from me, really. It's about me getting that into the players now. They've got to feel like that, because that's the passion I've got for the football club. And I don't know whether they'd feel like that, and they come back on a Monday morning and you can see your heads are up a little bit again. But it hurts me for a good 2 or 3 days, to be honest. I try to move on really quickly after it, but it does hurt. You got to front up to it and show a brave face, which I'll always do. I won't hide away from anything like that. But we're all disappointed, and we need to make sure we stick together now. The changing rooms hurt as well, though. And coming out of there, they were down. So need to stick together, get them back in next week, have a good week's training, and try and go again next Saturday.
I was going to say, when the final whistle went, many of them sat down, heads in hands. It looked like a more painful defeat than others in the past, perhaps because they know that the gap has grown between them and the top 6. But it looked like it felt to them like a significant defeat.
Well, listen, we've been wrote off from January, so that's the bottom line. Everybody's wrote us off. That's a fact. We've been wrote up. There's absolutely no chance in hell that we're going to make the playoffs now. That's a fact. That's what everybody's saying from the outside looking in. We've got to remain positive. That's the thing. We've got to remain positive and accumulate as many wins as we can. Just keep picking up, game by game. Take up game by game. We're disappointed to lose today. We know we've got 5 home games to come. We need to win them all, and we need to win at least 2 away from home. So we'll be doing our utmost to try and do that.